the best-selling British fiction author at the moment, and somebody who has done the unthinkable. Topped the charts of both the UK and the US bestsellers one year, with 2 books in the same year, in 2008. We have got an incredible price for you, post and packing's included, and this is the brand new book, but it's not only the latest in the Jack Reacher series, it goes back to the very beginning and answers so many questions about why the character became who he was in the first place. So a great place to start if you've never read these before. Listen up to this. Lee, lovely to have you here.
Thank you for asking me.
And such a thrill. And how do you feel nowadays? Such a big success with an American character.
Yeah, well, it was a strange thing, you know, a British writer writing about America, but I've been to America a lot. My wife's from America, so I knew the country very well, so it wasn't that much of a stretch or a reach, I could say. It was easy enough, and actually I felt it was easier than if I was writing about Britain, because if you're writing about Britain, you sort of think you know, or you do know, and so you're bouncing between invented stuff and stuff you know. And writing about the States, you've got to think about everything you write, and I think that gives you the kind of coherence that comes out really well. I
read once that you said it's easier writing about America because in America absolutely anything can happen.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
So diverse.
Yeah, anything can happen. You know, if whatever you put down, it will be happening somewhere in America.
Now, Jack Reacher, the character, we find out a lot about his background in this book. This is the book everyone's been waiting for, isn't it?
Yeah, in a way, because this is the 16th book in the series. We've had 15 before it, and the story of Reacher is that he used to be in the army. He was a military policeman, and he's not in the army anymore, and every other book he's just been wandering the country, getting into trouble, actually trying to stay out of trouble, but, you know, inevitably getting sucked in once a year just by some coincidence.
Yeah. To tie in with your publishing deadline.
Well, yeah, you know, which is lucky. But the readers have always said, why did he leave the army? Because he's a decent guy, you know, he's not a criminal, he's not a weirdo, he's a decent guy, so why did he leave the army and become this loner? And they've asked that for years, why did he leave?
And did you know?
I didn't really, because I never really, you know, I'm just rushing to keep up with him. I've never really considered what the backstory was, but I thought, you know what, it is time to sit down and figure out why did he leave and show it in a story. So this is a story. It's the latest book, but it's one of the earliest stories, because this is when he was a little younger than you've been used to him, and he's still in the army. He's got a really big case to deal with, and something about it changes his mind about his future.
And this book finishes, is it a month or so?
Yeah, exactly.
Before the first one starts?
A big loop in my career that I started the first one all those years ago, and this one, the last line of this book, kind of takes place just a month or 2 before the first line of that first book all those years ago.
So actually, this is the perfect place to start. And on my blog regularly, I have people saying about their recommendations, they're reading books they've never read before, and this one we know we've been raving about. Lee Child's got so many followers out there already, but if you're not, or you're buying for somebody who maybe is into their James Pattersons, maybe the Michael Conleys, that haven't yet got into Lee Child's, this is where to start, and you can get it from us right now with post and packing included. So where did it begin for you? Because you were a director in telly in Granada.
I was, yeah, in a studio just like this one, actually. You know, I'm looking around, seeing people behind the cameras and so on. Those were my people.
Feels familiar.
Yeah, very familiar. And I did it for 18 years at Granada up in Manchester. And then, I don't know if you remember, but in the middle 90s, ITV reorganized itself completely. And they said, we want to, you know, get rid of these old guys and bring in younger people.
Yeah, old age, what, 39 were you?
Yeah, I was 39, you know, on the scrap heap at 39.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, 39 is too young to retire. You know, otherwise I would. But I had to think, what can I do now? And so the question was, what are my skills? And my skills were that I love entertaining an audience. And it's not that I want to be a writer because I think it's sort of, you know, intelligent or glamorous or anything. It's just, it's one track of entertainment. A book like this is just the same as a movie or a DVD or a TV show. That's what I thought. And so I thought I'll try it, see if it works. And it did work. And so here I still am.
And also, being a director has given you the chance to write books how you write them, which is almost how no other author writes them that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Which is just one draft.
Yeah, one draft. I start at the beginning and I finish at the end, and that's it. I remember one phrase we had in live television, do it once and do it right. Yeah. And that's what I try and do with the books.
Much plotting, much planning?
No planning at all, because I think if you plan a book, it doesn't have the freshness, it doesn't have the kind of surprise and shock and that sort of urgent feeling. If you know what's going to happen, I think the writer would be a bit bored. If I knew how it was going to end, I'd be bored, and I think that would show through in the writing. I don't know. I mean, the reader doesn't know, I don't know. Then therefore, that's why the reader doesn't know. You know, if anybody says, oh, I knew what was going to happen, no, they didn't, because I didn't know what was going to happen.
They tell you as it gradually comes out.
Yeah, it just comes out. It happens like real life. You know, none of us know what's going to happen.
Yeah, oh, how exciting. So the very first time this happened to you, who was Jack Reacher then, and why did the story come in the first place?
Well, I just wanted to write about a character who was basically positive. You know, I don't know how many of these type of books you read, but a lot of those characters are kind of miserable. You know, they're alcoholics or recovering alcoholics, or they're divorced or traumatized.
It's not to do with you having directed Cracker by any chance.
Well, you know,
Prime suspect.
those are sort of, you know, that gloomy feel, and I didn't want the gloomy feel. I didn't want a miserable guy. I thought, let's just have a guy who is completely happy, confident, normal, strong, capable in every way, and can we make a story out of that? And obviously we can, because he is perfectly, well, he thinks he's perfectly normal. That's his appeal, actually. He thinks he's perfectly normal. The rest of us know, actually, no, he's not quite, because he does have some strange habits and foibles. You know, with being in the military all his life, there are lots and lots of things he doesn't know how to do.
Yeah.
Like go shopping. I mean, he's never been shopping. He doesn't know how to do laundry. So what he does is he goes to a very cheap store, and he buys a t-shirt for $1 or a shirt for a couple of bucks, and then he wears it for 3 or 4 days, and then he throws it away and buys another one.
That's one of the reasons why the women love him. What did you say? The younger women want to sleep with him, and the older women want to look after him.
Yeah, and he doesn't need looking after, you know, in ways like that. He's a bit helpless. He's tremendously skilled at what he's good at.
Yeah.
You know, he's a ferocious fighter. He's very intelligent. He can solve puzzles. He can find criminals.
Yeah.
He's very well developed in a narrow area of his life, but the rest of it, he's hopeless. He can't use a cell phone. Has no idea what email is. You know, he does need a little bit of looking after.
Make sure you make that call right now. Get it as a present for someone for Christmas. The guys say things like, if someone's into 24, they love 24. They love the sort of the typical dramas. That obviously the Bournes, the Bonds, the Ethan Hunts, everything else. Get into Lee Child. Get into Jack Reacher, and I think that's pretty true. But for the women as well, they love it.